I lost the bloodline. The entire...
WWE and AEW fans, get ready because the wrestling world is about to be shaken to its core. Just when we thought we had seen everything, Jon Moxley, the man once known as Dean Ambrose, has sent a direct message to Roman Reigns from AEW that has left fans worldwide stunned. What's even more shocking? It's not just a call-out for a feud between two superstars. It's an invitation to reunite for an ultimate showdown against none other than Seth Rollins. The stakes have never been higher, and the legacy of the Shield is about to go cross-promotional. The biggest question now on everyone's mind is, what happens next? Will Roman Reigns accept Moxley's challenge, or will he see it as a threat to his dominance? Will Seth Rollins have a plan to counteract this reunion, or is this the moment where the history of the Shield finally catches up with him? Let's dive into the unprecedented events that have set the wrestling world on fire. The Shield's dominance, a legacy that defined WWE. To fully understand the magnitude of this situation, let's rewind to the heyday of the Shield. For years, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose were not just a faction. They were a dominant force that took WWE by storm. The trio debuted in 2012, and from the start, it was clear that they were unstoppable. The Shield dominated WWE, taking on and defeating some of the biggest names in the business, including John Cena, Randy Orton, and even The Rock. But eventually, the time came for each member of the Shield to break off and carve their own path. Roman Reigns embraced his role as the tribal chief, rising to the top of WWE with an iron fist and establishing himself as the cornerstone of SmackDown. Seth Rollins became the visionary, constantly evolving and reinventing himself to stay ahead of the game, even winning multiple championships along the way. Meanwhile, Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose, left WWE and made his way to AEW, where he embraced a more brutal and unpredictable style. He became one of AEW's most beloved and dangerous figures, carving out a reputation as one of the toughest competitors in the industry. Each man found success after the breakup, but now, nearly a decade later, it seems that the past is about to collide with the present in ways no one expected. Moxley's shocking challenge. The drama officially reignited on AEW Dynamite, where Jon Moxley addressed the camera, delivering a message that would shake the wrestling world to its core. With intensity in his voice and determination in his eyes, Moxley called out none other than Roman Reigns, urging him to reunite with him to take down Seth Rollins once and for all. In his powerful words, Moxley said, "Roman, I know you're watching. Seth Rollins has been a problem for too long. It's time we put an end to this together. You may be the tribal chief, but even you can't do this alone. Let's finish what we started." The crowd in AEW erupted as Moxley continued his message, challenging Roman to join forces once again. But this time, it wasn't about rebuilding the Shield. It was about taking down the man who once stood by their side. Moxley's challenge was clear. Seth Rollins had become a thorn in their sides, and it was time to end him. For fans who have been following Moxley's journey since his WWE days, this was a moment they never expected to see. The idea of Moxley reaching across the aisle to WWE for help, especially from the man who became the tribal chief, was mind-blowing. It wasn't just about personal grudges or past history. It was about settling unfinished business, and it was happening in real time, live on AEW television. Roman Reigns' response. The legacy of the Shield hours. Later, the wrestling world received its answer. Roman Reigns, the undisputed leader of WWE's SmackDown, responded to Moxley's challenge in a way no one could have anticipated. Standing in the ring, championship draped over his shoulder, Reigns looked into the camera and spoke with a calm yet powerful demeanor. He smirked and said, "Mox, you've got my attention, but this isn't just about Seth. This is about legacy." That one sentence was all it took to send shockwaves through the industry. The drama surrounding the Shield, once a story confined to WWE, had now gone global. Roman's response made it clear that this was no longer just about taking down Seth Rollins. This was about preserving and shaping the legacy of the Shield. Roman was not just considering Moxley's offer. He was acknowledging the weight of what it meant to reunite, to come together once again as the dominant force they once were. The words, "This is about legacy," are telling. Roman is not a man who gives up his position easily. He has been at the top of WWE for years, a champion in every sense of the word. To Roman, reuniting with Moxley isn't just about putting an end to Seth. It's about reclaiming a piece of history and ensuring that his reign as the tribal chief remains untouchable. The Shield's past versus Seth Rollins' future. Now the big question looms. What about Seth Rollins? Seth, the visionary, is no stranger to betrayal and has always been one step ahead of his rivals. Rollins has a history of navigating the political landscape of WWE, having once turned his back on his Shield brothers to join the Authority. He's known for his ability to adapt and outthink his opponents, and this situation is no different. If Roman and Moxley were to reunite and join forces against Seth, would Rollins have a strategy in place to counter them? Knowing Seth, he certainly won't sit idly by. As the self-proclaimed visionary, Seth has always had a plan, and he's proven time and time again that he can come out on top when the odds are stacked against him. But this situation is different. It's not just about a rivalry between Roman and Seth or Moxley and Rollins. It's about the Shield's legacy. Seth Rollins was part of the most dominant faction in wrestling history, but now that very legacy may come back to haunt him. Could this be the moment where Seth's past, his role in the Shield split, and his rise to the top finally catch up with him? Seth may be able to outwit his opponents in the ring, but dealing with the combined forces of Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley could be an entirely different challenge. Will Seth have a plan to outsmart both men, or will he be left fighting for survival against his former brothers? Cross-promotional showdown, WWE versus AEW. This cross-promotional drama is unprecedented in professional wrestling. Never before have two companies with such high stakes, WWE and AEW, faced off so publicly with the possibility of a historic showdown. The fact that Moxley's challenge and Roman's response have already captured the attention of both fan bases speaks to the potential magnitude of what's at stake. Could this lead to a groundbreaking match between Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, and Seth Rollins? Not just in WWE, but in AEW too? Imagine the stakes of a feud that could transcend the boundaries of WWE and AEW, bringing together the best of both worlds for an epic clash that fans would never forget. Could we see a joint event, or even a cross-promotional match, featuring these three legends in the ring together? The possibilities are endless, and fans on both sides are eager to see how this unfolds. Whether it's a one-off event, a long-term storyline, or even a war that lasts years, the drama of the Shield is about to reach new heights, and this time, it's not just confined to one company. It's a global story that will capture the attention of wrestling fans everywhere. What happens next? As we await the next chapter in this unprecedented saga, one thing is certain. The Shield's legacy has never been more relevant. Will Roman Reigns join forces with Jon Moxley to take down Seth Rollins? Or will this lead to an all-out war between the former brothers-in-arms? Whatever happens, one thing is clear. This storyline has the potential to redefine professional wrestling as we know it. WWE and AEW fans alike are buzzing with speculation, and the wrestling world is on the edge of its seat. Will Roman and Moxley reunite, or will they take their rivalry to new heights? Will Seth Rollins have a strategy to counteract this reunion, or is this the moment where the Shield's past finally catches up with him? The answers are just beginning to unfold, and it's going to be a wild ride. Stay tuned, because this is one storyline you won't want to miss. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single update on what promises to be one of the biggest surprises of the year.